Time for another freaking swap video. The whole time is always a blur. I somehow came back also with more plants than I left with. Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to be taking you with me to another plant swap. For those of you who don't know, another plant swap is my business with my friend Lisa, Happy Plant Collector. We created this plant swap to bring together all of the houseplanty people in like London originally, but now we have spread out throughout the UK. We've done swaps in London, Scotland, Birmingham, and Bristol this past year, and we have our final London swap of the year tomorrow, which I'm so excited to go to and bring y'all along with me. It's been a minute since I've done a swap video because these past few swaps I've actually not been bringing anything to swap. I've been more focused on running the events, and especially since they're further away and I need to bring a bunch of supplies for the swap anyways, I don't really have room to bring plants. But seeing as we're back in London and I have plants that I do want to swap away, I'm going to be swapping plants again, which I'm so freaking excited for. It's something that's so fun and so special and such a great way to like make new planty friends and expand your plant collection in a more sustainable and like cheaper way. So the swap is tomorrow, but I've got an early start to get there and get everything set up before everybody else arrives. So I wanted to show you what I'm bringing with me today, and then we can go to the swap tomorrow and then I'll show you what I get back, or like what I swap for at the end. And yeah, so that's what's happening in this video today. Before we get into all of that, I just want to say, if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you being here and I hope you enjoy the swap video as well. I should also mention that I have put links to the swap information down below in the description if any of you in the UK are interested in attending one of these swaps in the future. I would love to see you there and meet you. It's so much fun. I love meeting all of you there. It's like, it's so cool. So all the information's down below if you're interested in joining one in the future. Sign up to our newsletter or follow us on Instagram. All the information's there. Right, this is what I am bringing to the swap. This is my little box. It's not my normal big box because I have a lot to bring still, and so I don't have tons and tons of space. And I'm also going to be putting this like seedling box onto the free table for anyone to use. I actually haven't used this seedling box since like maybe the beginning of this year, middle of last year even. I don't grow seedlings, and the last time I had this on the windowsill, Cleo knocked it on the floor and like destroyed all my seedlings, so I kind of just stopped using it after that. So I figure it can go to a new home. It's just been sitting on my bedroom floor for like a year, so hopefully somebody can get some use out of that. First plant I've got is this one here. This one is a Philodendron Atabapoense X Billy. It's got some beautiful like dark green leaves with like bright red backs. And this was a bigger plant that I have just chopped up. It was getting too tall for my space. I'm not feeling it that much anymore. It's grown kind of leggy and weird. You can see the leaves are all kind of going in different directions. Not necessarily my cup of tea, so I think someone could love it more than I do. I've got some fresh cut Peperomia frost cuttings in some soil because this is how I prefer to propagate them, and I might put cling film over the top, but I might leave it and just suggest to whoever I swap them with that they should put cling film over the top to let them grow. I think that will be really good. I love sharing that plant. Now that I've like got mine and it's bigger, I love sharing it. This one is a baby Philodendron gloriosum that I got in my rare plant shop rescue box. Most of my other plants from that died. This one isn't looking amazing. It's got great roots. You can't see them in the cup because I buried them in the sphagnum moss, but it's otherwise healthy. I've got my big one, so I don't really need a second one. That's fine. I've got some Cebu Blue. Of course, is it really a plant swap if I don't bring Cebu Blue? know I will always be bringing Cebu Blue because I have a lot of it and it's one of my favorite plants. I've got some Hoya Rosita cuttings just there. Next I've got this one here. This is a Philodendron Soderini, I think. It's like a miniature form of the Soderoy, and I just don't think it's my cup of tea. I tried it for a while and I've just not gotten along with it very well, so I think, again, somebody could love it more than I do. In here, I have some Scindapsus officinalis, which were wet sticks but now have leaves on them, so that's really good. And then also like some random chonk. Yeah, just like a random chonk in there, which will be a bonus for somebody. Those are all of the smaller things I'm bringing. I'm also bringing two slightly bigger things. One is my red paperclip plant, which has grown loads. I've had to chop it in half because it grew too tall, and it's just a bit easier like this. You can see it's not the best thing in the world. This is a Philodendron melanochrysum, and when I say red paperclip plant, it's something that I started 2 swaps ago. I started out with a golden pothos cutting, and I wanted to see how far up the like plant scale of rarity value I could get with it. So I started with the golden pothos. I traded that for a Scindapsus Silver Queen, I believe, and then I traded the Silver Queen for this melanochrysum. Now that we're finally back in London for a swap, I can trade this one up and see where this goes. Exciting. It is a very big plant. I've not had very much luck with melanochrysums in general, so I don't particularly want to keep it for myself, but I think it'll make somebody else very happy. And then the biggest thing that I have, that I'm not actually sure how I'm going to get it to the swap, is this. This is a Monstera dubia on a plank and then a moss pole. It's the one that I cut mine off of. It's got so much here, and I think this is going to make someone extremely happy. And yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get it to the swap, but we're Ubering because we're in London, so I've got a car, which helps. I wouldn't be able to carry something like this on public transport with all of the other stuff I'm bringing as well for the swap. So it's perfect. This is a perfect time to get rid of this, and I know somebody will really love this and get so much out of it. I can even split it off. I could take the top section and the bottom section separately and do that if I wanted to separate it out and give more chances to people. But the thing I feel with these sort of swaps is I don't really mind if I come away with anything from these. Part of what I love is just seeing people happy and excited to get new plants, maybe get some wish list plants, and I don't necessarily need stuff in return. I am trying to purge a little bit, get rid of some plants, and so everything in this whole section of plants, except for the melanochrysum, I would be very happy to come home with nothing for. I don't need anything, but hopefully I get something. I feel like I'll always end up walking away with something from the plant swap. For some reason, I don't know how, most people walk away with more than they came with, and I don't understand how that happens, but it does, and it's great, and everyone walks away happy. So yeah, that's all that I'm bringing. I guess let's just go to the swap. So see you tomorrow for me, in 1 second for you, for swap day. We found it, another plant swap. Sarah. Please. Sir Johnny.
the more of the stem that exposes to the light, the more likely you are for it to branch out from there.
Sprinkle it on the soil. Use a brush to put it on the leaves. It kills every single pest.
The winner of this is 486. I'm back. It is the day after the plant swap now, and I had so much fun yesterday. It was such a brilliant time. It was so good to see so many people. We had, I think like 90 something swappers and then 20 something non-swappers there. So it was one of the biggest ones yet, and it was just chaotic and fun, and there were so many people, and I loved like seeing people like Sarah and Johnny and talking to them, and Ben from Wizard Terrariums was there, Rose from Plant with Rose, like so many people. It was amazing. Oh, also sorry, this is remnants of my Halloween costume. I don't have more tattoos than I did before. I might later this week, but that's a different story. I was Carmi Brizzato from The Bear for Halloween, and so I got all of his tattoos so I could look like him for the evening, and they are coming off very poorly. So I need to really scrub at them, honestly. But that is beside the point. I got some plants yesterday. I swapped. I properly swapped. It felt so good to finally be swapping again, and I really enjoyed myself. So let's get into what I got. The first thing I swapped away was my Monstera Dubia, which I'm not surprised about in the slightest because it is an absolutely phenomenal plant and it was quite big. And I swapped that for this. This is a Pilea aluminum. It is this cool Pilea form with like crazy silver leaves. It's not the same type of Pilea as Pilea peperomioides, the like Chinese money plant. It's a different kind, but it's also really cool, and I'm excited to see how I can get it to grow. Next is this little guy here. It's a tiny little terrarium plant and apparently quite rare. I'm not like super well versed in terrarium plants. It is a Saxifrage Stolonifera mini. So the leaves stay this tiny thing, and I'll be potting it up in, I think, a little bit of a terrarium, which is exciting. And for that I traded the Soderini, but I'm excited to put this in a tiny little terrarium. I've got plans for it already. The next thing that I saw that I really wanted was this. Do you see how big this jungle cactus is? So this is a Queen of the Night, aka an orchid cactus. I'm not sure of the like proper botanical name, but it is another jungle cactus and like freaking huge, which is so exciting. It's unrooted there, so I'm gonna just probably put it in some soil and see if I can get it to root. For that I traded my Scindapsus officinalis. This next one, I might need a little bit of help IDing it, so I traded my Cebu Blue and Peperomia Frost cuttings for this Hoya here. And I'm pretty sure it's fresh cut in some perlite. But it's this tiny leafed Hoya. Like the leaves are kind of the same size as a Serpens, but they're not fuzzy. They're like more waxy and small. So if anybody knows the ID of this Hoya, I will very much appreciate it so I can figure it out and then share that with the owner of the plant. But apparently this one grows like crazy flowers as well. So I'm really excited to see how this grows and to add it to my Hoya collection. That's gonna be so much fun. I somehow came back also with more plants than I left with. That always happens. I don't understand, but no matter what, I always come home with more than I left with. So it's not really a great way to purge plants, really. But I came home with more than I left with, and I have a huge box of like leftover plants that are from the free table. So I really don't know how how I'm supposed to get rid of plants from swaps anymore. This next one, this is a Rhaphidophora corthosalii. Sorry if I've mispronounced that, let me know. But it was from Sophie, who was the one I got the other shingling Rhaphidophora from. Oh, ow, ow, Cleo, ow. You wanna come up? Yeah? I'm busy, baby. I'm busy, baby. Thank you. But yeah, so it's another shingling Rhaphidophora. And I think this one's the top cutting because it has that like tiny bit of new growth in there, which is super duper exciting. I traded that for my Hoya Rosita because Sophie has loads of Hoyas, like tons and tons of Hoyas, but she says that her Rosita doesn't look like my Rosita, so she wanted another one. And so we did that trade. I was speaking to someone at the swap and they had tons and tons and tons of Tradescantia. And I was like, well, how do you grow it so well? And she was just like, make a really big bushy pot of it. And so I traded all of these Tradescantia. There's literally even more in the bottom of this box. Like, probably like 10, 15 Tradescantia zebrina cuttings for my Philodendron Atabapoense hybrid, which also had tons of cuttings. So this, like, look at that. There's so many here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a really, really big pot of them and get a really nice big pot going of the Tradescantia, so maybe it'll be like thicker and bushier, because that's been my problem with Tradescantia like this whole time. Like, they grow really leggy, and I feel like it's because I've just had 1 or 2 strands in the pot as opposed to a bunch like this. So now that I have a bunch, I can pot them all together and hopefully get a nice big bushy plant. The one plant I really struggled swapping was the Melanochrysum. I feel like so many people are not the biggest fans of Melanochrysum. I feel like they're just one of those plants that a lot of people just struggle to get to grow bigger. I've struggled with them. I've kind of sworn off them. The only reason I had the Melanochrysum was because it's my red paperclip plant. So I really struggled to swap it. What I did swap it for was this Philodendron Branditianum. This one. And the person next to the person I swapped with this had some more Branditianum that they didn't want to keep, so they gave to me for free. So more brandy. So now I'm gonna combine these together and make a whole big pot of brandy, and that's gonna be my next red paperclip plant. I don't know if they're necessarily any better in value. I don't really mind at this point. I just feel like a brandy is gonna be easier to get rid of than the Melanochrysum was. And I know I could have like posted on my Instagram to get rid of my Melanochrysum for my red paperclip thing, but that's just not how I've done it so far. Maybe I will going forward start posting and swapping via Instagram instead of via just the swaps, because like I'm limited at the swaps to what people bring to the swap and what people want. So if someone's like looking for something specific or just already has one, I'm like, I'm searching for the wrong, like in the wrong crowd, if that makes sense. So that was, I believe, my last swap. Still have more in this box though. These are all like freebie things that I got from people throughout the day who just like were happy swapping for nothing. I also am happy to swap for nothing quite a lot. And I think I did swap something for nothing. I kind of don't remember. The whole time is always a blur. So first one I got is this giant Hoya Carrii cutting, which is so exciting. Like, look how big these leaves are. They're huge. And I haven't had a Carrii for ages, since my last one just kind of like did nothing. Maybe that one had flat mites, I don't know. But I'm glad to have another one, even though it's not a variegated one. I don't mind. I think the like plain green one is prettier than the yellow variegated one anyway. So excited about that. From that same person, I also got this. Ding, 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 ding. Anyone recognize this? This here is a Hoya New Guinea Ghost. Since I bought my one previously and it has passed away, the price of New Guinea Ghosts has massively decreased. They've become a lot more available, and so the price has gone down quite a lot, so I don't think it's got quite the same like value. So this person was willing to give it to me for free. They didn't want to go home with it, basically, which I'm very, very excited about. So I can try again. They made me promise to not kill it, which I said I will try. Someone also remembered that I have been trying out peperomias recently, and so they handed me like tons of peperomias. A few different types, actually. They've got this one, the Napoli Nights oh, okay, falling out, okay. Napoli Nights peperomia. I've got the Santorini here, which is more of like a gray with like purple in it. So that's exciting. And then a Piccolo, which is all wrapped up in there. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to giving these a go and seeing if I can get these to grow as well, because that would be awesome. I'll probably put them straight into soil because that's going to be the easiest way for me. I've got another whole cup of them as well, goodness. All from the same person, which is very lovely. I really appreciate the gifts. And then someone gave me some Anthurium plummonii seedlings, which is super exciting. I will probably be putting these in some sort of prop box just because I need to keep them nice and hydrated. But I think they're just in sphagnum moss now, so tiny little Anthurium seedlings, which is exciting. From the same person, I got an Anthurium wendlingeri. I'm probably pronouncing that way wrong, but it's a sort of strappy Anthurium, and not like velvety like the Pallidiflorum, but a similar sort of leaf shape, and very sort of blue foliage, not like super yellowy green. So I'm excited for this one. I think this is just a bottom cutting, so we will see when I pull that out. Probably not in this video, but I'll probably do that over on Patreon. So if you're interested in seeing what I like end up doing with all of these cuttings and stuff, head over to my Patreon and sign up if you haven't already signed up. Before Johnny left, he had some plants on his table that he was trying to like get rid of. He didn't want to bring much or anything home, and so I took a couple things from him, and I kind of just like that I have some plants from Johnny, which is exciting. So the first one is this Epibremnum Shangri-La, which I will add to my other one. And then this is an Epibremnum Cebu Blue. But this looks so different to my Cebu Blues. It's like much more of a round leaf, and it goes into more of a point. It's more of like a teardrop shape, whereas mine, the leaves are like long and skinny. So I'm really excited to see this like different sort of Epibremnum Cebu Blue and see if I can grow that. And then before I left, I grabbed these two off of the free table because I actually really like how these sorts of Tradescantia look. These are Tradescantia Calesia elegans, these ones. And I really like the sort of foliage on these stripes on there, and they're so soft. These leaves are like velvety soft, which is amazing. And they do have purple backs, which isn't necessarily my favorite thing. I much prefer looking at it from the front, but I'd rather a purple back to a sort of red back in a plant because I like the color purple. My hair's slightly purple right now as well. So I picked these up off the table at the end of the night because they weren't going to be picked up by anybody else. So excited to probably pot these together and maybe get a big pot of Tradescantia going. I'm trying some Tradescantia here, which is very interesting. So yeah, that is everything that I swapped for at another plant swap. It was honestly such a fantastic time. I had so much fun, and like, it's been an absolutely crazy year with all the plant swaps, and I can't wait to do it again next year, during next growing season. We're not going to be doing any more over the winter because it's getting too cold at this point to keep going. So yeah, that is it. Cleo wanted to join again, But also before I leave, I want to give a big thank you to the newest members of my Good Growing fam over on Patreon. So a huge thank you to Larry, Natalie and Hannah for joining in. I really hope you enjoyed over there, and don't forget to try and tune in to the live chat this weekend. If anyone else is interested in joining my Patreon, it is £3 or about $4.50. 4-ish euros, and you get everything. Everyone is all on the same tier. You get bonus content from me and live chats, and you get to vote on my content and stuff like that. So it's a really good time. Of course, there's absolutely no pressure to join as well. It's just, it makes my life ever so slightly easier when making content for all of you. So yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. And yeah, subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!